Hey guys, Tony here. The afternoon games were super thrilling. No surprise to see the Denver Broncos end up winning today. They're now in what is labeled the AFC playoff picture. They're within 2 games of the Baltimore Ravens. And today we had a really big comeback from Andrew Luck and the Indianapolis Colts today. And what you're seeing for this NFL season is the year of the comeback. If you're not familiar, professional sports are completely rigged and completely scripted through the Kabbalah, and it's simply happening through, the will of the Creator. And good and bad exist in nature to provide complicating questions, just surrounding the mystery of what the meaning of life is all about. And if you think about that reality, virtual reality matrix in that regard, then you sort of understand how things are controlled and predetermined and set in advance. So no matter what's happening, it's through the will of the Creator, through the matrix that the grand architect of the universe created. And that's what Gematria really is all about. It is the God code. So it's really more than just Freemasons, Zionists and Jesuits, ruling over society. It has to do more with the Creator of the matrix itself. And that is the Creator of the universe, and that is what the study of Gematria is all about. So this is why this NFL season, it is all about the year of the comeback. Well, first, if you're not familiar with Gematria, it is the practice of translating letters and words into numbers. So, A equals 1, B equals 2, C equals 3, all the way to 26. Simple Gematria is A through Z in the alphabet. Pythagorean Gematria only deals with single digits. So 1 through 9 is A through I, J through R is 1 through 9, etc. T all the way through Z. So that's what Gematria deals with. In the year of Super Bowl 53, in the year of the comeback, it is comeback in simple Gematria that equals 53. We've seen many comebacks already this year. Aaron Rodgers against the Chicago Bears. The defending Super Bowl champion, the Philadelphia Eagles, away at the Tennessee Titans, and Cam Newton in playoff contender Carolina end up coming back against the Philadelphia Eagles. We've also seen Andrew Luck's comeback today over the Miami Dolphins. The Colts came back from 10 points down. The 11th point in that comeback helped the Colts win the game. And really what the year of the comeback has to do with is the fact that the number 53 itself has meaning, and the most important player that was missing from these two particular teams last year, the Packers and the Colts, were the quarterback. Andrew Luck through the entire season, Aaron Rodgers through the end of the season, carrying the Green Bay Packers, helping Mike McCarthy keep his job because of his quarterbacking play in the way that the talent of the Packers has not been coached up to its capability, and there needs to be blame for their coaching staff. It's Aaron Rodgers that came back against the San Francisco 49ers over by his hometown this year at California, his home state. He's a Cal Golden Bear alumni. So we're seeing a lot of that this year, and really what this game was all about was the fact that out of all the Super Bowl winning quarterbacks, the only quarterback that was born on February the 3rd, the date of this year's Super Bowl, to win it was Bob Grace. He won the Super Bowl with the Miami Dolphins, I think. I will post his Wikipedia page into the description, but he played quarterback for, no, it was the Miami Dolphins. And that's who the Colts came back against today. So I think that has a lot to do with who's going to make it to the Super Bowl, because today the Colts had a lot of bad luck. Adam Vinatieri missed his field goal attempt. It hit off on the funny side of his foot. We've seen the Colts running back. It was like Jordan Wilkins. He fumbled the ball. He fumbled the ball away. Andrew Luck throws a pick. He throws a pick, when he's trying to drive down at the end of the first half. And the second turnover was just the Hail Mary attempt towards the end of the half. And the Colts, what they did this game was really overcome adversity and really show that Andrew Luck was going to keep the bad luck from hurting them. We've seen it early on in the year where, half of the Colts team gets hurt, and it's a short week, and they lose to the Patriots with T.Y. Hilton gone and Marlon Mack and Costanzo, whatnot. We've seen the Colts stop the Eagles on fourth down, but the refs call a bogus holding call, and the Eagles score, and then the Colts are in the goal line, and Andrew Luck and company, they can't punch it in to win the game. They did not execute there. And then there's bad luck against the Bengals, where tight end and team captain Jack Doyle, the Colts are driving down to beat the Bengals. They fumble the ball, and he goes to the end zone to seal the game. Unfortunately, they played the Bengals when they had their quick start this year before the injuries and their bad defense was exposed. And really, what is happening here is the fact that Andrew Luck is supposed to give the Colts luck. It's supposed to be a very symbolic script this year. People don't believe in luck, and they don't believe certain miracles can happen. And really what the message for this year is, do you believe in luck? Do you believe that Andrew Luck is the missing link for a championship run when you take into account that Frank Reich was a guy who the Eagles missed, was calling their plays, and they're not even at 500 right now, and he's coaching the Colts, and they have a top 5 offense in the NFL, better than the Eagle offense this year. They get the tight end, Eric Ebron from the Lions, who was underutilized, who's scoring double-digit touchdowns this year. Marlon Mack, the young running back, is showing that he could be a top 10 running back. He's a really explosive playmaker. You get guys who can block and catch. That's what makes tight ends super unique, is that tight ends like Jack Doyle, whatnot, you don't know if the play's going to be a running play, or you don't know if they're going to go out and pass. And what Jack Doyle and some of the guys on the Colts tight ends on there, they're really good at reading the coverage, since these guys are big guys, they're blockers, so they have to be smart route runners, and that's what these guys do. And you have Eric Ebron running up the seams in the middle of the field. If you're a slow middle linebacker, not knowing if it's going to be a run or a pass, and that creates matchup problems. T.Y. Hilton is super fast for the Colts. He's a fast guy, wide receiver, healthy, and he's making guys miss, as you saw today. The Miami University wide receiver, or I think it was Florida International, but he had a big game against the Miami Dolphins. That was a really big game. He does it against a team from his home state, and you see those kind of things. You saw where Michael Crabtree, he scores against his old team today. The Oakland Raiders Michael Crabtree, was short of the end zone, and he catches the ball out of bounds or whatever, and he goes back to New Orleans, the side of the Super Bowl that the Ravens won, and he goes back and he catches the game-winning 2-point conversion. So you see all these things happen in the NFL, and really, if you want to ask me why it is really scripted, I have to answer it only this way, is that the league was designed, through the creator of the universe, the creator of the Matrix, to really optimize our value and our excitement. And at the end of the day, let me just tell you this, is enjoy the game for what it is entertainment, and don't get all about hurt or upset or whatever when your favorite team loses. And you just have to appreciate, certain talents that you see in the NFL and appreciate the greatness of it. And that's why certain outcomes happen. And, that's why you see this evil going on where, coaches in the National Football League, they can hear on on their own play calls. And you sometimes wonder why a team calls an early timeout. Sometimes they call an early timeout so they can have a break and they can figure out, which play the defense is running, and for the defense, which play the offense is running. I guarantee at certain times, see the headsets malfunction or whatnot, or not even working. It's designed to confuse teams. And in that way, you can influence and script games without needing a referee. And if you ask all, it's illegal and all of this. Well, you don't even need to pay a ref to fix a game. The ref is an employee of the NFL. It's one entity. It's not 32 independent teams competing in one league. It's seen as one business entity where they share all the same profits. And the reason why you see these certain outcomes happen is so you can maximize fan interest in every region. Where you have a team from every region or whatnot, you have close standings where certain outcomes happen. So there's not too much difference between the teams competing and the teams that are currently holding the playoff spots. So that's why you saw a lot of teams in the AFC, and that was my theory for Atlanta this week. And don't be surprised to see Green Bay win tonight, because what Gematria and what sports rigging is all about is producing the most desirable outcome and producing legends. And this year, it just seems like it's going to be Andrew Luck, the quarterback that's really going to be the only one who can ever come back from 1-5 to win the Super Bowl. And that's what you saw with the Colts season, and what you saw throughout this game today. The missed field goal by Vinatieri and the fumble and the interceptions and all of this was just overcoming bad luck, and you need Andrew Luck to do it. But the coach of the Eagles, not only a winning offensive coordinator with the defending Super Bowl champion, but he was the quarterback that was on the Bills that came back from, I think it was a 30-point comeback in the playoffs. If it is 30, I'm going to go back and check. It is Colts and Gematria that equals 30. Adam Vinatieri kicked the game-winning field goal for Super Bowl, what was it, 39, 38? That game-winning kick by Adam Vinatieri, I think we see that happen this year, in the year that he broke the all-time points record for kickers. I think we might see that again. This game-winning field goal just may be a sign that he just may execute a perfect comeback. So Aaron Rodgers, he did the same exact thing. He had a big second half in the last season that we saw an AFC team win the Super Bowl. So my whole general point is that Frank Reich is leading another big comeback for Indianapolis, and he's going to need some luck to do it. When you combine all these narratives into this, I think we will produce a beauty when we can completely decode a Super Bowl champion team's entire season, as well as a team that it would be in the Super Bowl. And Aaron Rodgers is going to come back tonight because he beat the Falcons in the playoffs. He beat the Bears and the current defending champion Eagles in the wild card when they had Vic back when he won it in 2011. The last time he was in an NFC title game, the last game at the Georgia Dome, he lost that game to the Falcons. The Super Bowl was at Atlanta. So understand why he's playing Atlanta in the second half after he whips the floor with Mike Cardinals next week. He's going to come back and beat the Vikings. And then the question is whether the Minnesota Vikings can keep their hopes alive against the New England Patriots. So this is my summary of what you witnessed if you watched the entire game today. It was quite nerve-wracking. It will be for the rest of the season. But at the same time, my confidence never stops. The only reason why it's going to be like this way is because, at the end of the day, there are no guarantees in life, so you never know. But with the knowledge that Gematria in numerology can bring to you, then you can really Just maximize your enlightenment.